and welcome to the channel. Today we are back with MRC action from the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship, or GTTCC for short. This is the Dragon Trail International Raceway, and we're on the Gardens layout. So we'll head on down to see how the guys in Elite 1 did in qualifying and where they line up for the start of the race. Sticking on pole, we've got Chris Wall, CJW Racing. He's running the Racing Softs. In second, we've got Mental Mike. He is also running Racing Softs. Third, we've got Terrence. He's running Super Softs all round. In fourth, we've got my Monster Team teammate, Ghost Realm. He's running Racing Softs on the front, Racing Super Softs on the rear. In fifth, we've got V-Show. He's running Racing Softs. In sixth, we've got Has91, Racing Softs on the front, Racing Super Softs on the rear. In seventh, we've got Diablo. He's running Racing Softs on the front, Racing Super Softs on the rear. In eighth, we've got Ginge Imposter. He's running Racing Softs on the front and Super Softs on the rear. In ninth, we've got P1 Apache. He's running Racing Softs all round. In 10th, we've got Mutt. He's running Racing Softs on the front, Racing Super Softs on the rear. In 11th, we've got Walmid. He's running Racing Softs all round. In 12th, we've got Infinity Decals. He's running Racing Softs on the front, Racing Super Softs on the rear. And last but not least, in 13th, we've got Surfer Ev, and he's running Softs all round. So that's your grid for round 4, race 1. Down at Dragon Trail Gardens 2 layout. So we'll head on down to the front of the grid and join the guys as the lights go out and we get down to the action. Should join us now, looking down towards the front of the grid as the guys wait for the lights to go out. 1 light, 2, 3, 4, 5 red, and we are green and away. Everyone gets a pretty good start. These Aston V8 Vantages are pretty handy off the line. No real need for traction control or anything. They provide a lot of mechanical grip. See, Chris has got a great start out in front there. He's trying to gap now the guys behind, as Terrence and Mental Mike are starting to swap positions already, heading down the straight into what is turn 3. Mike's gold Red Bull livery glinting in the sun there. Seen a bit of dust being kicked up behind there from one of the drivers. But everyone seems to have got away nicely. There's no drama. 30 decals dropped behind Surfer Ev. But nobody's had any dramas on this opening lap so far as we head down to the heavy braking of the hairpin for the first time. Terrence is really starting to put CJW under a bit of pressure now. V-Show has now got up past Mental Mike out of the hairpin, and we've got Ghost Rom trying to look on the outside as we're coming down towards this very tricky chicane. It's a little bit easier this way around than the forward run of the garden there, but it's still tricky nonetheless. And this last corner is very easy to wash out wide onto the grass and collect the wall, but everyone getting around pretty good. See some dust being kicked up there by Terrence. As I said that, we got Mental Mike now looking to get past Ghost Rom down into turn 1. Can he make the move stick? He's got the inside line. He's side by side through both turns. They're very good driving there from the two gents, but Mental Mike just slots it up past, as we see Diablo just getting it a little bit sideways, was it? Sorry, it wasn't Diablo, it was Walmid just getting a little bit out of shape through turn 2. And I think we put the jinx on one of the quick fit drivers there, because I seen him running a little bit wide and loose in some places. I think it was more P1 Apache than Diablo, as we see. Oh, Ginge Imposter just running a little bit wide there. I feel his pain. I did the exact same thing. I think at least twice during this race when we ran it down in the Rookies League. I'm like the opposite of the Stig. Some say he's a half decent driver, but he's a much better commentator. So we'll run through the grid now as we're heading on to complete lap 2 of this 30-minute race. Still in the lead, leading from pole, we've got CJW Racing. He's been putting under pressure from Terence, but is managing the gap nicely at the moment. Terence, as we said, is in second. He's made up a few places, starting from, well, one place, sorry, starting from third. But he's jumped up, he's right in the slipstream now as they head down towards turn 1, but still going to be a little bit too far back to make a move there. V-Show is up into third from 5th, so a good start and opening stint to the race for V-Show. Ghost Ram is in 4th, he's holding position, although he's ahead of 1 or 2 now that were in front of him. A couple of position swaps, but he's remained static. Then we've got Metal Mike now in 5th, dropping from 2nd. Apache UK, P1 Apache UK, sorry, in 6th. We've got Mutt in 7th, Walmart in 8th, Ginger Imposter in 9th, Has 91 is in 10th, Infinity Decals is up to 11th, Surfer Evs in 12th, and Diablo's had an issue somewhere. Let's see if we can see what happened to Diablo. Jump on board with Diablo now heading down towards this tricky chicane. Car just getting a little bit loose on entry. Not a fantastic line on the first one, but he's through. So it's not there. Oh, he just gets a weird connection over the curb. Sticks a tyre onto the gravel and spits him around. So it wasn't the smoothest loss. I think maybe there's some netcode issue there as well, which has helped out, or a bit of lag at the same time. Unlucky for Diablo, he's got a lot to do now, but still a hell of a lot of the race to go. So we're back live now, and yeah, Diablo is trying to make up ground now. He's got a lot of work to do, no time to panic. He's got the racing softs on the front, so he can go a bit longer than maybe some of the full super soft runners. We'll see what he can do through the race now. CJW Chris is still holding out front. He's now got Terence crawling all over the back of him. V-Show right behind him, and you see Ghost Ram slowly creeping up behind. So it's going to be 4 for the lead very shortly, unless these guys can get past Chris and make a break for it. But Chris is pulling out a nice gap there through that last corner. Might just be able to hold off Terence down the start-finish straight. You see Terence is tucked right into the slipstream there, looking for a way past V-Show, and maybe having a little look on Terence there. He's just slightly outbraked himself and run wide, and he's got it, gathered it back together for the second apex. Lost a bit of time to Terence, but not too much. You see Terence just flashing the hazards there. I think he knew he maybe outbroke himself there, which caused V-Show to run a bit wide. It's always tricky when you're coming down a long straight like that through the slipstream. You lose your braking point. You have to try and guess where you need to brake, so you don't avoid slamming into the car ahead or braking so hard the car behind hits you. As we see Terence, he's making a move down at the hairpin, but sends it very deep. Oh, it's going to cost Terence massively. He's going to drop down to 4th, is he? Ghost Ram is trying to get past him, but Terence has held the line and the slipstream, and Ghost Ram just nips in front. He's now in the slipstream of V-Show ahead. So Terence going for probably a bit of an impatient move. He probably had enough of sitting behind, staring at the back of Chris's car. He thought time to make a move. Tried to go around the outside, but just sent it a little bit too deep. It's dropped him from 2nd down to 4th, but this group is so close together, it's no real biggie at the moment. V-Show now hunting down Chris ahead of him. Goes from trying to bridge the gap and join the front two. A bit of a lockup from the rear there. Terence now has Mike all over the back of him. That's what can happen when you have a mistake like that. Yeah, he's dropped to 4th, which you wouldn't think would be too bad, but now he's losing that lead pack because now he's got mental Mike crawling all over the back of him, so he has to think about defending. Though Mike has a 3/10 penalty, so Mike cannot go for a move at the moment. Just a refresher on that rule. The rule is in the Gttcc. If you are carrying a penalty, you do not have to burn it off. However, you cannot overtake anyone. So if you're carrying a penalty, you can carry on driving, you can race, but you cannot pass. So at the moment, Mike is just trying to stick with Terrence, but if he gets an opportunity to overtake, he cannot take it, although it looks like he's got rid of the penalty now at the hairpin, so he's all good to attack now coming towards the end of this lap. Mud's got a bit of a gap to Walmart, so nothing to worry about there at the moment. And then we have a gap from Apache to J Imposter. But then these two have been battling from the start. Surfer Evan Infinity Decals, as we see, has 91 now in last position. He's had an incident somewhere as well. So a lot of people will be getting caught out around this section. So easy to drop it right here. See, oh, you just see Has getting a big slide on there coming through that right-hander. He's got the wipers on, so maybe somebody's leaking coolant in front of him. Jump back with the leaders. Chris is still holding off everyone behind. CJW Racing. He also does videos for this series, but covers one of the other tiers. Be sure to check out his YouTube channel, CJW Racing, for more of this good Mrc Gttcc racing. I should just say Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship. I can rhyme that off whenever I try and do the letters. I sound like my teeth are falling out. So V-Show's now coming under quite a bit of pressure from Ghost Realm. So, I mean, that's going to give CJW Racing a little bit of a breather here if he can just break away. See another little snatch lock up of the rear there, but Chris has had a horrible entry into the chicane. V-Show's close right up behind him. This could be spelling the end of CJW's lead of the race. As we see Ghost Realm looking for a move into the final corner. He's just a little bit too far behind, gets a wheel on the grass. He's not going to make that move stick through there, but he is now right below the rear wing of V-Show's Aston. That's probably going to have V-Show now thinking about Ghost Realm rather than taking a move on. She did the CJW. Oh, as Chris runs wide, Chris was very deep. They're now going to go 3 wide heading down onto the straight. Chris just manages to get the car straightened back up and powering down the straight before too much trouble happened, but that was a heart and mouth moment there for our leader. Just a little bit of contact there between V-Show and Ghost Realm heading through this double, actually triple left-hander. Really got to be patient around those 3 corners. You can carry quite a bit of speed in, but you have to wait and wait before you can put it back down. Oh, there's the car just understeer wide. And all the meanwhile, this battling is allowing Terrence just to start to reclose back up to these guys. But Mike hasn't gone away either. And Matt in the background. Matt has gone very well in the second race a few times. Not always as much in the Aston, but he's having a good run today in second. I mean, they've broke off now. We have definitely a 6-car group and a 7-car group now. Split off into 2 races nearly. So we see Apache coming under pressure from Ginger Imposter, sorry. Apache's tyres are not looking great on the front of that Aston. Will he be thinking to dive in this lap? Or is he going to push them further? No, he's going to keep going. Oh, Ginger's got a massive overspeed on him down the straight. And slots himself up into 7th. Let's see. James just has slightly better tyres there, but he runs very deep into turn 1. That's allowed Apache to get back up alongside him, but just keeps the position. Surfer Ev is now broke away a little bit from Infinity Decals, and then behind we've got Haz 91, Diablo and Walmid all scrapping. Jump on board with Walmid from his point of view. A little bit of archy-barchy there just as we jump on board. Don't quite know what happened there. Some damage there to the back of Diablo's Aston. He just seems to be jamming the brakes on in the corner there. I think he's maybe having some tyre issues and couldn't make it through, as he has now dropped it and recovering behind. It was a near perfect point where we changed camera view then. Diablo now struggling at the back. So easy, could just be a thing of an instant like that, can really break your concentration. I'll put you right out of your rhythm for a few corners until you can re-find it again. Goes from right behind V-Show now. He's taking a look into turn 1. Can he get him on the brakes? Not quite. As you see Chris running wide again, but V-Show also runs wide. That's going to allow Ghost Ram up the inside, so Ghost Ram up into second. And now we've got Terrence and Mental Mike nearly as one. Maybe Aston Martin will look at this race and think about doing V8 Vantage limousine. The amount of these cars that have been nose to tail nearly joined. I see Mental Mike just runs a little bit wide there. So you're going to lose you a little bit of momentum, but he kept it going quite well. See the gaps opened up a little bit there. Just maybe lose a tenth or two just doing that. But we see Terrence now doing the same on the run down. Oh, and he's picked up a 5/10 penalty for cutting track limits, I imagine. Now that puts Terrence under a big disadvantage, and Mental Mike should push real hard now to get past him. If you can get past him where he's got most of the penalty, he can't re-attack you. So he drops off a tenth there. You know, he's gonna really needs to get tucked in close to him here now. That's the good thing with this penalty rule in MRC. You can really put it to your advantage if you can capitalize and get past the car in front. But Mental Mike, V-Show, Ginger Poster, Infinity Decal, Surfer Ev all heading into the pits at the halfway stage of the race. So that's inherited Ghost Realm the lead. He's going to be looking to pit at the next opportunity by the looks of it, because those fronts are shot. Same for Terrence. Chris CGW Racing has been in and out, and he's opened up a little gap now to V-Show. Both on the same compound. Should be good to the end of the race. Mike essentially is P3 at the moment. Once the pit stops play out, although they're very quick here if I remember rightly at Garden, so he might not be, could be battling when the guys ahead come out of the pits. Terrence has picked up a penalty, might be able to get rid of it through the pit stop. As he goes from coming around the final turn, will he stay right and peel off into the pits? He does indeed. Terrence is following, so that gives CJW back the lead of the race. It's quite impressive by Terrence as well to run those super softs that long. V-Show is going to go back up into second, and now he has a gap, so the undercuts worked for Visho. He's opened a gap up to Ghost Realm, and also Mike is closing right up on him there, so Mike's back in the hunt for third. Terence has lost out, he's dropped down to fifth, and a gap now to third and fourth. Could become another pressure from Haz, but Haz must be doing 2 stops, so I missed his first pit, but he's gonna have another one to do, I would say. So it's gonna put him out of position. So take a look at the gaps. So we've got 2.5 for Visho back to CJW, and then a further 1.5 back to Ghost Ram, who's got Mental Mike 9/10 behind him, and then 2.2 back to Terrence. So yeah, as you can see just through the pit stops there, the undercuts really opened the gaps up between the cars. There's going to be a lot of people hoping for some mistakes, so they can close up through the end of the race. So we've got somebody thrown in the towel and parked up, maybe. Visho. This is a nice little gap now. We'll take a run actually through the grid now as we see some people. I think Haas have just gone in for his second pit. A little bit early for a 2-stop. Maybe a lap early, but we'll run through the grid here. As they are after all 7 done through the pit stops. So leading the race still, we've got CJW Racing. Looks like spot on today to go for a pole to race win, as long as he can keep it on the black for the rest of the race. Visho up into second. Goes around trying to hunt him down in third. Metal Mike trying to get onto the podium in fourth. And we got Terrence in fifth. Mutt in 6th, carrying a 1/10 penalty, being hunted down hard now by Ginge Imposter in 7th. Ginge has a slight tire advantage over him. Surfer Ev up into 8th. P1 Apache in 9th. Infinity Decals in 10th. Bullmid in 11th. And we've got Haz in 12th. Yet Haz has done his second stop. And we've got Diablo down at 13th, some way off the back. It looks like he had some technical issues there on lap 10. Lap 10 was only 4 minutes long, so say he had to go in, get the guys in the garage to take a look at something on the car. He seems to be back out now. Maybe just a test session for the rest of the race for him. But what was a 6-car lead group now, we've got CJW, Chris Will broke away a little bit at the front. Then you've got Visho, Ghost Realm, Mental Mike and Terrence running together fighting for the podium. You got a bit of a gap back then to Mutt and Ginge Imposter in 6th and 7th, and then another gap back then to the rest of the field. So it was a 2-group race, has now turned into about a 4-group race, but there's battles happening all over the place. What we'll do, we'll jump on board with the race leader, see how he is tackling the gardens layout. Chris just respecting the danger of the first sausage there through the chicane. Takes a bite at the second one, but that first one, with it drops and the adverse camera really can flick the car up in the air and push you out wide, so Chris was very well there to navigate around it. Just running a bit deep again in turn 1. We've seen him do that a few times, but Hasn't cost him too much. We'll be taking life out those fronts though. I should just see V-Show in the mirror. So you're patient, you have to wait and wait and wait and wait. Now go. See, it's so opposite of what you want to do in a race car. You just fighting the urge, your right foot plant down to the floor. Chris using the downshift there, a little delay on the last gear before he drops into the gear he wants for the corner, just allows the car to settle down a bit. If you bang down through the gears too fast, which I've been known to do, it can lock up the drivetrain that the gearbox is pushing, in this case the rears. It can also just unsettle the car by bouncing down the revs too much. That little pause, we see Mike heading into the pits. It's really late call, unless he's going for a fastest lap, maybe swapping over to the super soft, but that's really, I didn't think he was on 2-stop, but I thought he stopped around the 15-minute mark, so he's been out for 8 laps on them tyres. Forgot what I was saying now. I see Mike going. Yeah, you can really unsettle the car. That pause just allows the car just to settle down nicely before you throw her in. Something I've had to learn to do a lot more myself. So, great driving from Chris as we come round to complete a full lap riding on board with him. No great dramas. Just another example there, just that pause from third down to second. If you don't do it, try it, see how you get them. Ooh, the guy's getting a little bit closer now though. Gap down to 2 seconds. With just over 5 minutes to go. So we could have a very close ending to this race. Although V-Show is going to be coming under massive amounts of pressure now from Ghost Realm. Terrence has dropped off that group now in 4th, maybe just settled for 4th spot. Now he's got a huge gap back to Mike. Went on to another set of softs, so not 100% sure. Oh, she changed, goes massively wide and absolutely smashes the barrier. That's going to drop him down. He's lost all momentum. Walmid's going to slot up past as well, so that's changed down to a 10th. Massively unlucky there for the Team Budweiser driver. We got that battle of these two drivers now, V-Show and Ghost Realm. They've literally been doing this all race long now. Ghost Realm trying to find a way past. V-Show just always seems to have him covered off. See, they just sort of half opens the door for Ghost Realm as he said, go on if you really want to, take a dive and see what happens, but he's just got it closed just enough to put that little element of doubt into Ghost Realm's head as see V-Show now going defensive into the chicane. Parking it perfectly on the apex. Because he has to take that tighter defensive line, he has to brake a little bit harder on the apexes, which claiming the apexes stops the other car going through, of course, but that little bit of heavier braking also ruins the momentum of the car behind. As we see, V-Show had a little bit of a mistake out the final corner. We're gonna have a little bit of contact there. And Bailey let him Ghost Ram let him run back up alongside and made the pass into the second corner. So Ghost Ram now up in the second. Terence definitely on his own now, but should see this out quite nicely. You got Mental Mike. He's pushing hard now. He's gapped the group behind. He is on fresh rubber, so he could be able to close the gap to Terence, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch him and pass him. We got just over 2 minutes left of the race, so we'll have 2 more laps after this, and it'll be too big of an ask, even on the fresh tyres compared to Terence's. Surfer Ev is now heading this little mini group at the back there. He's got Apache right under his rear wing. Has isn't too far behind either, so a mistake from either one of these could lose him quite a lot of places here. Great defensive driving there from Surfer Ev, just made the pass. Not looking appealing at all for Apache. See, Ev just going defensive through turns 1 and turns 2. That allows Haz to catch up to the back of Apache. So you just see what that defensive driver was talking about. If you go defensive, you kill all the momentum of the car behind as well. So you can bring other cars into play, because now Apache has to think about defending as well as attacking, which isn't the easiest thing to do. Haz is also bringing along Walmid and Mutt, behind. So this is going to become a 5-car battle for 6th place very soon. Oh, and we just see Haz unfortunately gets the nose into the corner of Apache coming through the hairpin, but fair play to Haz. Great sportsmanship, just lets off the throttle and sits there, gives the place back to Apache. That's broke this battle down now just to 3 cars, but they're gapped enough now, so Surfer Ev must be feeling confident to stay in 6th now for this final part of the race. That's going to be it. Surfer Ev's going to be the first to finish the race. And he claims 6th with a big handbrake. He only just claimed it with a big handbrake. He went a little bit early there. Matt finishing 7th, Walmid in 8th. P1 Apache's going to come home in 9th. Another handbrake. Haz in 10th. Ginger in 11th. Infinity Decals with a drift. Beautiful car control there, sir. Is going to come home in 12th. Diablo in 13th. But the man of the race for this round of the championship has been CJW. He has been a class above the field all race. He's took it from pole to win, unless he absolutely drops it now, which if he does, I will feel personally responsible for bigging him up so much in this closing part of the race. But he's had a couple of wides turn 1, but that's been the only real issues he's had. He's took this section, the trickiest section of the track, in my opinion, very well all race. Which if you can get that right, it'll put you in good stead for the rest of it. So Chris is going to come home in 1st place. We'll just take a quick look behind. We've got Ghost Ram and Fisho still battling. We'll just go with Chris as he crosses the line to take the victory. Ghost Ram's going to hold off in 2nd, and Visho in 3rd. Terence is going to come home in 4th. We've got Mental Mike in 5th. Join us next.